Africa Pack by ITC. It's 11 on the ALL4PACK TV stage. Welcome everyone for the roundtable organized by ITC, spotlighting Africa about e-commerce and packaging. An ITC publication dating to 2005, e-commerce in Africa for globalization, tells us that in Africa, e-commerce, for example, represents where the use of internet platform e-commerce for companies in Africa who want to export their products is under 2%. E-commerce in Africa, the e-commerce market in 2013 accounted for a volume of $8 billion. Projections for 2018 are $50 billion US, a growth rate of sixfold growth. On the other side, in terms of the population in Africa in 2013, we had 1.1 billion citizens, Africans, accounting for 14% of the worldwide population. Projections for 2025 are of 18% of the population being Africans. For 2050, 25% of the worldwide population, 1/4 of the population in 2050 will be coming from Africa. You'll understand that you've got great opportunities in Africa for e-commerce, but also for you guys, producers of packagers, equipment makers, service providers here. For the session, we will follow a concrete case of an e-commerce case in Morocco. We'll be putting ourselves into the shoes of a small company wanting to sell its product using the electronic platforms. You're going to understand the challenge of a company, an SME, through the supply chain, from e-commerce to production and to distribution, to see how you can interact on the issues and trying to find solutions using local national partners in Africa. Today, we take pleasure of having three experts in the field of e-commerce. To my left, Mr. Mohamed ES FIH, expert in eSolutions for trade, coming from ITC member. To my right, Mr. Tidiane DIOP, expert in logistics at DHL Africa, and a former director of DHL Freight in Morocco. To my right, Mr. Amine SERHANI, elected president of the e-commerce Fédération in Morocco, but also president of the international cooperative Made in Morocco. Made in Morocco, which will be the issue we're going to tackle today. It's a group of economic interest grouping companies brought together, very small companies, SMEs and SMI. 1,000 companies are regrouped in this regrouping using e-commerce services. The use of e-commerce platform in this respect in Morocco through your members, the members of FNEM, could you say that you were victims of your success? Good morning. Thank you for inviting me here today. Indeed, we're a victim of our success. Over the 45 minutes, we got a lot of orders. We got 3,800 orders in 45 minutes. The server could not really follow suit. The launch was covered by the media in Morocco. And so we're not even able to deliver the 3,800 orders. So we had to contact customers, our first customers, asking to be patient for some days because we could not deliver right away. So the beginning of the FNEM on e-commerce is a victim of its success, generating a lot of local logistics headaches. So the FNEM is going to work with ITC to help you find solutions. Now, we will. Let us look at the supply chain. You're a small company. You want to develop your package, launch your product, export it globally. The first difficulty you're looking at is access to raw materials. Could you explain to us the difficulty for you in accessing quality packaging materials in Morocco? Well, in fact, to get the right package for each product, we're marketing and selling 27 categories of products on the Made in Morocco platform. We had problems getting the right package for each product. The first problem was that we don't have this in Morocco. We have to turn to external suppliers who refuse to give us small amounts or small quantities. They want to deliver containers per SKU, which makes our work complicated. Beyond this, you have problems in terms of the quality and certification of the packages you're using in terms of hygiene. How can you meet this problem? For each market we are targeting has demands which you must take on board. Our products must conform to the requirements of every target market for every type of product. You have to upgrade the product to export it. Is it easy to import a product? Packaging into Morocco, plastic bottles from Europe to Morocco. In terms of financing or funding, some companies may ask 100% advance payment, and for small companies, very small companies, it could be a real issue in terms of management. Good morning. Thank you for inviting me here to source packagings from Europe to Africa or North Africa. With ITC out in the field, we can see that what is not an obstacle for a large company in Africa could be a major obstacle for a small company because of the minimum quantity to be ordered, but also because of the possibility of transferring money abroad because of currency issues and so forth and so on. When a small company in Africa would like to pay abroad, it takes time. You need an approval. And of course, European suppliers know that when they have a request coming from Africa, they expect a lot of complications in terms of payment, triggering a reluctance in terms of giving priority to requests from Africa or Morocco, volume and the capacity to pay abroad. Did you develop tools to bypass or to skirt this issue of access to vendors and suppliers? ITC helped us, supported us to resolve all these issues, creating branches. We set up a branch in France, in London, and in the US, a fourth in the Middle East, to source products without any problem. And does it mean that these branches are buying packaging materials and shipping them to Morocco or to the place or not buying directly from Morocco and creating a trust, building a trust with these suppliers? Exactly. In Europe, we keep the money in banking accounts in Europe, and all the orders for all our needs, we're using the branches to buy materials. Once you get the packing materials, the cardboard, what about the design of the packaging? How design branding? How do you develop? How do you talk to members to help them develop their own brand or developing innovative packaging? We're turning to advertising agencies in Europe, for example, or in the U.S. to help us improving the design of the package. We're working on a large number of categories, 27 categories covering all the products made in Morocco. It's a bit complicated to find agencies that want to help us help our members. Can you consider that for SMEs, Mohamed, it's hard in Morocco still to have access to designed packages, quality packages, or do you use a raw basic package to pack your products? Well, this issue has two parts. One part in terms of the company, the maturity of the company. Sometimes you work with companies having a great product, but they don't have any logo. They didn't have any parts list of their products. We're working with ITC on this. They supplied a lot of efforts, which is to capture the content and to formalize it. Once you have captured and formalized the content, you can work on what is design branding. For a small company in Morocco or from Africa, it is quite a chore. They cannot still realize the importance of investing in branding and packaging. They see it as, it's far away, it's far off, where it's the first step for us to enhance the product and add value to it. It is seen as a source of custom, that as a source of profits to increase your footprint and your visibility in the marketplace. In terms of once you design the product, you source the product from abroad, you process, transform the product. What about distribution? A large corporate which wants to export can export pallets of one product, which will facilitate all the activity of storage, distribution, and everything, and shipping, and customs clearance. For small companies like yours, are you building pallets using different products, different brands, from different industries? How do you run this activity in terms of the repackaging, but also in terms of all that is customs clearance? It's important. In terms of exports, Moroccan companies had to be trained on 2 points: preparing for export, namely speaking the same language as the European customs or American customs, creating, therefore, a list called the HS code list, which is a listing of the products based upon the international language or code in terms of customs codes, the Incoterms, basically. And second, making available an account to have access directly to file pre-statements before you export the goods. Tidiane, you talked about traceability. Yes, indeed. How do you ensure traceability of a pallet containing 50 different products? Did you develop any specific system to track and trace at FNEM to help them making sure of traceability, which is indispensable for foodstuffs when you want to export into European countries, for example, where for regulated products like agribusiness, agri-food, we have applications helping us tracing and tracking a product, having all the necessary forms and documents to be presented to customs in Europe and the U.S. For other products, such as handicrafts, we developed ourselves. We created a procedures how to make the product. We have the information it was populated in the system. Now we're ready to ensure traceability for other products. Although SMEs are not able to do so, as Made in Morocco, we're ready to do so. Thank you. Amine, let me now wrap up on our discussion of this morning. The main challenges you have talked about and what you have raised, although a lot of challenges still remain to help your members. It's ongoing work. We have issues related to payment management, international payment management. You have all that is related to controlling information technologies and telco technologies to help small companies. You're supplying this support service to your members. Development of adapted packages, description of attractive products, labeling, branding. It's important also, which you must train people on. And finally, management of inventory and control, and ordering process is a problem for small companies. Well done for the work you're doing for your industry in Morocco. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Mohamed ES FIH from ITC, Mr. Tidiane DIOP from DHL, Mr. Amine SERHANI from FNEM. Thank you for having shed light on the challenges faced by small companies for e-commerce and for large corporates. Issues are quite different. All this through Morocco, but also we can extend to a certain extent this to other African countries. It was the fourth stage of ALL4PACK with ITC, where Africa was spotlighted, and to share the opportunities and the challenges of this continent with you. Thank you for your attention, and have a great exhibition.